So yes, Destin, speaking of Fred Durst, you said our first story.
The first story, Rock Band 4 versus Guitar Hero Live.
Yeah, let's
Two
talk about
this week. Yeah.
Well, so Guitar Hero had been rumored, just as Rock Band had been before its official announcement. And now it's real. Mitch got to see it. Sadly, he's not here
too,
because
actually.
he hates it.
Oh, you did?
Fortunately, Sean Finnegan is here. That's right. You shot the
Boom.
whole thing.
Yeah, I was there with Mitch.
So, if you missed it, the quick recap. It's a first-person game.
What?
Yep.
The Call of Duty Strawberry Jam effect comes over your screen if you start to fail.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Not a joke.
Like blood?
Yeah. Because apparently musicians'
be
eyes start
tears.
gushing blood when they miss notes.
Should be tears. Or bats. Or something. I don't know.
Bats?
Bats?
Like
Like
the
Ozzy
animal?
Osbourne eats the bat. Never mind.
What are you talking
I'm
about?
making music references.
I
and you guys
understand the
aren't
music
getting it.
reference, but that is an isolated events that happened once in music history for
I'm
a
still
publicity
confused.
stunt.
Like bats the animal or bats like the things you hit
That's the
baseballs
animal.
with?
Ozzy Osbourne
the
once
animal,
bit the
then.
head off a live bat
Yeah,
at a
yeah.
show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Never mind. Blood
So
makes no sense is my point.
It is all shot. It's all it's a live action. It's an FMV game. It's all live action footage. You're the lead guitar player in a fictional band, and they actually shot it at sound stages at like venues in the UK
With an audience.
With an audience. One of our guys, Daniel Krupa from our UK team, went to one of the shoots. And
Prior to like every level, it shows you and your bandmates like walking out from backstage,
yeah.
and there's all these groupies and roadies like, "Go get 'em, man! Do
when-
your job."
When
Like,
you're on stage, who you're facing, that instrument comes through louder.
Mm-hmm.
On the
whoever,
soundboard.
like, because
if you're facing the drummer,
which you have
know.
no control over, because
Yeah,
it's
it
just
just
a
goes
canned
wherever it
thing. So
wants.
yeah, the drummer, it's like 3D audio. The drummer will be louder if you're standing near the drummer, and if you're out venture near the front of the stage by the crowd, you might hear the crowd sing along. But there are two. They shot it with these robotic cameras so that there are two versions of every song.
Mm-hmm.
There's the "You're doing well" version and the "Boo, you suck" version, and it can transition between them on the fly, as you do well or do poorly. And it's the guitar is completely different. It is actually a fascinating looking guitar in that it's the 5 colored buttons are gone, and instead there are
Frets?
6
Is it like the
small
frets?
frets. It's 3 rows of 2 at the
Yeah.
top of the neck of the guitar, which means obviously old instruments won't be compatible, and also they are starting from scratch here. No old DLC is going to work, unlike Rock Band. So right off the bat, that's a bold decision.
No DLC and new guitar notwithstanding, this looks stupid.
Go ahead. So yeah, you
Weigh in, Destin.
I really, really don't like this concept of if you do well, the crowd cheers, and if you do poorly, they boo you.
but that's been in every Rock Band and Guitar Hero so far.
Yeah, and what really bugs me is that it's live action. There's no way they did enough shots where that's going to feel new every time you do it. It's going to feel new like once.
Well, that's a fair point. Yeah, how
And-
many different variations? How long until you're seeing the same stuff over and over?
Yeah, and Sean and I were talking about the camera control. Your camera's just going to be going all over the place, and the people talk to you. That's going to be really distracting.
There
when
is
you're...
no camera control. The game
Yeah.
is in control of the camera.
Sorry.
Right.
To, to clarify,
Yeah.
Marty is correct on that, and I hate that idea. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to look at my drummer. I don't care what he's doing. I just want to focus on playing guitar and doing well there.
So- Fair point. I would counter by saying, even in any of these games, I'm so laser focused on the note chart that I don't even
Yeah.
see any of that stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, to me, the background is inconsequential to the gameplay. You're looking at the track the whole time, and based on a couple of levels I saw Mitch play, like, it can get pretty complex. Like,
Yeah, talk to me about the actual playing of
Right.
the game.
So-
the note chart and the
so
frets.
like Ryan mentioned earlier, there's 2 rows of buttons with 3 buttons on each row.
one side's black buttons, one
right,
side's
the bottom,
white buttons.
The bottom one, which is the closest row to you, that's the black row, and then the top one, which is the one that's furthest away from you, is the white row.
Unless
and
you're left-handed, I guess, huh?
I guess that's true. That's a good point. We didn't ask about that when we were there. But the colors are represented on screen. Like, there's no different colored gems now on the track. It's
Right.
just black and white, and so you have to press the right button according to which color shows up on the track.
Yeah.
And it can get pretty complex because there are times when you have to press 2 white ones and the middle one's the black one, so you're making more like seemingly like chord progressions like you would on a real guitar. Like, you have to do some pretty complex movements, and they get moving pretty quick. You're not even looking at the background, and it's just not as colorful or as inspired as previous Guitar Hero games or
It looked
any of the background stuff.
It looked like there was an alternate mode where you play with a music video. Is that correct? Do you know?
So that is part, to my recollection, that is part of a new feature called Guitar Hero Live or
Guitar Hero TV.
Yeah,
TV.
exactly.
So you're just watching it?
Well, you can. I don't know. It was not very clear when we
Yeah,
were
they
there
didn't-
from the presentation, but like you can jump into any song at any point and just play along with the music
Yeah,
video
you
and
somehow
learn
right.
and learn the chord progressions and the
That
tracks
I like.
as they go.
That I like a little bit more
Yeah.
than playing with the fake band.
And it's supposed to be
on
like
a
an
fake
ever-expanding
stage.
library.
The
Like they said
other-
they were going to continually add to
The
it.
other
yeah.
key part of this is that it is guitar only. No bass,
Right.
no drums, no vocals. Single player game other than trade-off multiplayer. You know, past the guitar multiplayer.
So Ryan, you and I were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
I agree with Dustin. This is a weird idea. FMV has never worked in video games.
Yeah.
It came off super cheesy on the Sega CD. with
Sewer
the
Shark,
90s.
fools.
Sewer Shark, the Mark Wahlberg game.
Yeah.
It was a Scottie Pippen game.
Resident
Don't
Evil
forget,
1.
don't forget Crisscross.
The crisscross, yeah. And this, it does seem weird. I completely agree that it's these are gonna get canned and old very quickly unless
Yeah.
they did some really intense photography for each song. How is DLC gonna work? Are they gonna reshoot every song? Are they gonna get a new
that has to
crowd
be
in for
so
every
expensive.
song? Yes, it sucks that you can't use your old music. Yes, it sucks that you don't have the different instruments. But I like that it's different than
Yeah.
Rock Band.
And that's
Yeah.
the big point
Yeah, it
that
is
I agree with.
incredibly different. Whereas Rock Band seemingly is just the natural progression
Yes.
of picking up where the last Rock Band left off. This is doing something really weird. This reminds me of when the Xbox One was revealed, and we had the Xbox One and the PS4, and they were very different. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I agree with everything the Xbox One is doing, but at least it's different. Let's see if this is going to be interesting.
And then they crumbled and got rid of all the features.
yeah, which I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think
I
they
don't.
could
I
do with
hope
this.
that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Here.
because last generation, during the initial music game boom, we had these two games spawned of the same thing. They grew from the same seed that Harmonix planted and developed. You know, Harmonix, Activision bought the Guitar Hero IP and Red Octane, the instrument maker, and Harmonix was left with some cash in their pockets, and they went off and built Rock Band. So they rebuilt everything from scratch. But they were ultimately the same game, just butting heads
Yeah.
for years, with just each of them assaulting the market with, AC/DC. Okay, here's Aerosmith. Okay, you got Metallica. All right, we got Green Day, and it was just just clashing until the entire genre just imploded, just crashed in on itself. And that's where I agree with you completely,
Yeah.
Marty. Is that sink or swim? Maybe you're right, Destin. Maybe this Guitar Hero is going to be completely dumb, but I love the fact that they are both going in very different directions. It should help the genre revival last longer and not just lead to another inevitable crash by the fact that they are going in different directions where there's no real need here to choose one or the other.
Right.
I mean, yeah, they're going to be expensive because they have plastic toys with them, but there are scenarios that exist where if both of these games are good, you'd actually want both for different reasons.
I'm really interested to hear what people think. You can tweet at me and let me know at Destin Legary. Yes, I'm plugging my Twitter. But I really want to know, are there people out there who saw Guitar Hero live and they're like, this looks amazing, I can't wait?
I already know one
Versus
for you.
Rock
Tim
Band 4.
Geddes.
He's really excited for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Well,
he played it.
Yeah.
And then
He played
Rock
it.
Band
He
4,
was
we at
at
least
the
know
same
that there's
appointment as me.
multiple instruments.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's very interesting that you've got.
Can
You
you
know,
can
the-
you
the
have two
famil-
guitars in Guitar Hero? At least two guitars?
We're not. I don't think we know for sure
We
yet.
don't know. Don't
So
know.
But
They didn't
not
say
in
anything
a
about it.
Single player experience. That,
Yes.
sounds,
We
that
don't
we
know for
know.
sure.
that sounds awful.
I mean, that was kind of my thing. Is like I will reserve judgment until it comes out. I was a big. I played a lot of Guitar Hero 3 when it came out, but that's the
Yeah.
only one I've played. My roommates had Rock Band in college, so I played that too. But I was always more of a Guitar Hero guy, and I like that they're doing something different. I'll reserve judgment on how all of the other things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way when I saw it are until it actually releases.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I mean,
there's no telling how. Like I agree. It seems to me like the pre-canned footage and first-person perspective, like that would get old really quick. But we don't know. I only saw like the same level a couple of times.
Music video stuff sounds cool. If you can play along with cool old music videos and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that'll
that
be
was
neat.
kind of their angle with that. Is they
Yeah.
they build it as like a discovery thing. They were like, all of the people at the studio are musicians, so what they really wanted to do was allow people to get into music that they're into and learn to like music that they previously may not have been exposed to.
I
That's a
love
cool
the
idea.
I love the idea that that Guitar Hero Live is going to make me learn the game physically in a new way, because
Yeah.
I have such great memories. When I first picked up Guitar Hero, which was back when Harmonix was making it,
Yeah.
it was Guitar Hero 2 was when I got really hooked, because that's when it came to 360. It had been a PlayStation exclusive up to that point with Guitar Hero 1 and the initial release of GH2. And just learning, like I started on easy with just those first 3 frets, those first 3 buttons, and then I got comfortable with that, moved to medium, adding the 4th one, and then eventually, okay, I got to learn to slide my hand down and add in the 5th button. And that was really part of the enjoyment of it, was just that, getting better at the game. And, with Rock Band, Rock Band 4, it is going to just be slipping on that comfortable glove. Like, all right, we're back. We're
Yeah.
just right back in the
Yeah.
saddle. Here we go. There isn't going to be that learning something fun and new from a physical perspective, whereas Guitar Hero Live will have that. So I appreciate it for that. But at the same time, Rock Band, Harmonix moved past the single player thing and said, let's make this a 4-player band thing. And it's I've said on the show a million times, it's one of the most unique and enjoyable multiplayer experiences. It just has an energy to it that playing 4-player Halo or 4-player or anything else doesn't have.
yeah.
And so I am sad that this Guitar Hero is a 1-player only game. That kind of feels like a step backwards to me for all the.
It's perplexing.
Well, I appreciate them saying, okay, we're going to laser focus on lead guitar stuff. But at the same time, I appreciate focus is always good, but
Tunnel vision is different.
at the expense of jamming with Marty and you guys.
I wonder how many people who had Rock Band got a chance to play with actually 4 people in the same room and got a chance to own all 4 instruments, because I think we were lucky enough. Like, I was lucky enough to be in college at the time.
Yeah.
I lived in a house full of people who played games, and so we bought that and had it in our living room. You were obviously in the industry already doing that, but I bet there's a lot of people who might prefer just playing alone. A lot of people who only play games online.
But
True.
Rock Band still offers you that ability.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And
that
they
was
did-
my worry with it, is like it seems like I'll reserve judgment, but it seems like you said a little bit of a step backwards not to have the multiplayer thing in there, because that's what sold the experience in the first place to me.
What if
Harmonix did sell a lot of full band kits
Yeah,
back
I'm
back when Rock Band first
Yeah.
came out.
When we actually see Rock Band, what if it's like the exact same thing but 4-player?
It's
Like with a live
it's live
audience.
action, everything's different.
different studio.
The thing about the live audience
yeah.
is we're all complaining about that, but you guys nailed it before. Like, when you're playing that game, you're focused on the highway and nothing
Yeah,
else.
you
It's
don't
like when
care.
you're playing a fighting game. You don't care where you're
Well, yeah,
fighting.
like
You're
when I-
focused on
Right,
the 2
the
characters.
background stuff.
When I saw it, I was like, okay, this is an interesting idea, the whole first-person thing, because they build it as like, we wanted to put you, the musician, in the live. It's called Guitar Hero Live. Like, it should be like a live show. And I was like, all right, that's cool. I like that. And they're like, we had this first-person camera. And I was like, all right, I like that idea too. But I can't control the camera. Like, if I could control the camera, that would be really cool. I'd be looking at all sorts of different things.
Look at the girls in the audience.
I like you just danced around that.
Yeah, this seems.
It could have done some. It could have
I
utilized
legit
the
wonder
Kinect
if this
and-
at some point had Kinect functionality that they pulled.
That would make sense.
When Kinect sort of became. Because
Maybe.
you can
It's
imagine
possible.
if it's set up in your living room, of taking a step forward on stage, taking a step forward in real life, turning your head to the left.
Yeah.
Turning your head to the left. But if you're turning your head to the left, you're not looking at the highway anymore.
Well, but if it's all live
highway
action,
is
there would have
the
been
UI,
no
though.
way for them to record that. They can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can do that.
We recorded a live podcast at New York Comic Con using this crazy technology to where you could watch the whole thing live on an iPad and using the gyroscope sensor,
Yeah, all
just
right.
like twisting a full circle, and you're
It's how
sort of
they-
looking at everything live.
It's how they did the Matrix back in 2000. Also, they had just a bunch of cameras, and
I
you would
see.
shoot simultaneously a bunch of different angles.
That was not a reel. That was film. Neo did not actually
same
fly.
idea.
So-
same idea.
One thing I'm optimistic about on Guitar Hero, one more thing I'm optimistic about. it's being developed. So remember, Neversoft was handed the keys to Guitar Hero when, of course, Harmonix went off to do Rock Band. Neversoft doesn't exist anymore. They were sort of closed, and a bunch of them were
Last year.
folded into Infinity Ward.
Yeah.
This is being made by Freestyle Games, who are the guys that did DJ Hero, those two DJ Hero games, which were awesome, completely underappreciated because they were DJ Hero. I feel was both ahead of its time and too late, too late in the whole music game craze. Just a great game released at the wrong time. And so the fact that they're developing this has me optimistic. Now, I am not thrilled. I'm going to date myself, just not for the 7,000th time on the show. Yeah, I'm old. The songs that they showed off in that trailer do less than zero for me.
They take away from the experience.
They almost take away.
What songs were they? Do you
So
remember?
we had, I remember some artists. There was My Chemical Romance. There was
Wow. Okay.
Black Keys. Okay, they're all right. There was
What?
War on Drugs. There was Skrillex.
Skrillex, there was
Wow.
Green Day.
I love Skrillex's guitar
In a
solo.
guitar
What
game.
is, yeah, what is that?
And just basically all stuff you'd hear on modern radio that, I mean, and again, I'm old. I don't connect with what's currently popular music for by and large. So I hope that of course there are many, many more songs. I hope they're just putting those forward first as a, hey, mainstream, got to get the kids' attention, but that there will actually be a lot of depth and variety to the soundtrack. Whereas, Rock Band 4, right off the bat, you've got 2,000 plus songs spanning, going all the way back to the 60s.
Yeah.
You can have your Guitar Hero Live. I want to rock in Rock Band.
Yeah. But I wonder who's going to get, I don't think someone like a Metallica fits into this Guitar Hero Live vision, whereas, Guitar Hero had previously had Metallica exclusively. So is Harmonix going to get Metallica back? I'm curious to see who's going to get what artists.
Can anyone get Led Zeppelin still? No.
No,
No
they'll
one.
never do it.
No one.
We talked about that, though.
Zeppelin?
In this, that they've softened a bit over the last
think?
few years. The few films have had Zeppelin songs in them.
A couple.
The Girls with Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We'll see.
and that Jimmy Page has been over the last year remastering and re-releasing all the classic Zeppelin albums. So, he might be inclined to say, okay, well now I've remastered this. Now I see what you're doing, Harmonix, and what you've done, or Activision, over the last 10 years, and I'm willing to give you, a track or more.
Also, video games like Call of Duty, Destiny, and Skylanders make a lot of money, and so Activision has a lot of money.
Very deep
Yeah.
pockets. That
Yeah.
is true. But I don't know, that you wonder if a guy like Jimmy Page,
Yeah,
at
that's what I was
his,
going to
Harris.
say is I'll
Yeah.
bet you that
can you buy him?
dude's rich beyond his
Yeah,
life.
what if
they name a
Money
Destiny
is
planet
so
after him?
of little value to that guy, probably.
don't
You're
think
no
that'll
longer
go far.
getting your weekend goods from Zur. You're getting them from Page.
You'd have a
Yeah.
better chance at getting him a really, really rare guitar or something.
Yeah.
Like an instrument of some sort.
Yeah.
So overall, Destin, you're not
Rock
feeling
Band,
good about
Rock Band. I don't feel good about Guitar Hero Live.
Marty.
Not confident.
I'm just super curious to see what it's like.
I'm with you,
Yeah.
Sean.
Cautiously optimistic.
That's fair.
Neutral about Rock Band.
Yeah.
We need to see Rock Band to make any.
Yeah, we don't know what
call
it's
on
doing
that.
yet. I mean,
Like I said, I was never really a big Rock Band guy, so I don't if it's awesome, cool. If it's not awesome, cool.
If Rock Band is doing really nothing new of substance and it's just coming back with a ton of songs, are we going to be just as upset at it as we are at this strange new direction of
I think
Guitar
so.
Hero?
Rock Band
Like-
has the 2,000 song library though.
But
Which
you
I got you
you
covered.
already had that with the last game. Like you
But
still
many people have
those.
ditched their 360s.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
With
ditch
a
them,
2,000
like
song
I mean,
sold them
catalog?
and
people,
stuff?
yeah,
I know
a
I'm
lot
getting
of people,
something I like.
right.
I literally
you
don't
know.
know where my 360 is anymore.
Skrillex
Yeah, a lot
on
of-
guitar
If
If you
is
have
not
seen it,
appealing
please
to
give
me.
it back to me.
Directly under my Xbox One.
A lot of people, I mean, these new consoles are expensive, and there are lots of people that need to trade in or sell their old console to get the next one.
That sucks.
I did when I was a kid.
Oh.
I never had more than one console at a time when I was a
Oh,
kid.
I never sold my consoles.
I used to have to
Mr.
sell it
Richie
to get
Rich
my
We don't
Pants.
have a couch like you do.
Yeah.
All right, so very curious to hear more about both these games.
Agreed.
Hopefully, we'll get to play them. I would think at E3. So we'll keep an eye on the brewing new war. It's World War. It's Music Wars 2.
Yes.
Rock Band 4 versus Guitar Hero Live. I'm personally very interested in that war, so we'll keep our eye on it.